and you got to be able to stand up, and you got to be able to tackle, and you got to get off blockers. There's no trick in that, and we just didn't do a good job of that today.
You guys wanted to get quicker and lose some weight on the front. Is that a matchup issue?
No, that's absolutely not. Wasn't a matchup issue against Arkansas. It was a choice today. Florida had more fight than Georgia, and that's on the defensive coaching staff.
Jeremy, was there anything you saw in the last week that would tell you this could happen today?
No, absolutely not. But we're still dealing with 18 to 21-year-olds, and you got to kind of keep the hammer down at all times. You can't ever get comfortable, and the big thing that we got to do is first probably just give Florida credit. They whipped their tail today. All right, they outcoached us, they outplayed us. All right, ain't nothing we can do but go back and look at it and fix it and make a choice that we're gonna, and we got to do it together. Got to do it together.
You guys made so much strides in the last several weeks. How hard will it be to kind of pick it up and get these guys' minds right again?
I think, again, that's a choice that we got to make. Each individual's got to make a choice. Do they want to, look reality in the face and, hey, we didn't play very good and we're going to do something about it, or we're going to continue just to let it happen?
Arkansas is one of the better rushing teams in the conference. What was Florida able to do that Arkansas wasn't?
I'd say that we didn't get their backs on the ground. It's not real fancy. I don't know. I've said it a bunch of times. We had more than they could block, and we didn't get them on the ground. They did. We didn't tear off blockers. They blocked us better than we got off blocks.
Jeremy, do you think there was team-wide complacency or just maybe you lose your edge during the bye week after winning the way you did the last two games?
No, I don't think so. We had our best 4 practices of the season this week. Played pretty good the first quarter, all right. But the last 3 quarters we got our butts kicked, all right. And it's kind of Florida ran the same plays in the first quarter they ran in the next 3 quarters. Okay, we made the same calls. So what was the difference?
What was the difference?
They executed better than we did in the last 3 quarters. They stayed on blockers longer. We didn't tear off. Free hitters didn't make plays. And to me, I think it's attitude.
Maybe a few more missed tackles in the second, third quarters as well.
I would say there has to be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Teams lose. It's not like teams don't lose. That happens. What is the message in the locker room? What is the message moving forward?
Well, the big thing is when we left the hotel, we said, we broke on together. We got to do it together, and that's what we got to do. If we're going to be successful on defense, we got to do it together. And today, we lost. We got embarrassed, all right, by a team that outplayed us, out-toughed us, out-executed us, all right. And we got to give those guys credit at Florida, okay? They're, like I said, they're players and their coaching staff, all right, and we got to get through this together. Again, together. It's about us. We got to be together.
What made you feel compelled to come? We haven't spoke to you in several weeks. Just you felt like you need to answer for the performance today? Or?
Absolutely. I hadn't been doing the media deal, but when you play like that, you need to come out here and look everybody in the eye. And
what would you say to Georgia partisans? Now that you're talking to us this week about this performance.
Well, it wasn't very good. You're a Georgia fan, right?
Yeah. Something called dog post, so there's some partisan in me, sure.
Good, sure. So, I'm sure you feel the same way I feel. It's embarrassing, You work hard to come out here and put on a good showing, and I know there's a big rivalry here, but any game, and the bottom line is they outplayed us today.
I know you like to look at tape before you say a lot of things. It looked like you guys had them clogged up pretty good in the middle. They kept bouncing outside. Was there a schematic thing that you're coming out of this on first blush going, I sure do wish we'd done X different?
No, we're running the same calls in the first quarter that we ran in the next 3 quarters, and I think we held them pretty good in the first quarter. Just got to execute a little better.
Was fatigue a factor?
Who?
Was fatigue a factor?
No, I wouldn't think so. I mean, probably if you let them string along some drives, I'm sure it is.
How was Ramik doing? Ramik Wilson.
As in what?
Well, Carter was on the field for a while. It seemed Ramik. Did he tweak something? Did he hurt something?
No, we just substituted some guys.
I don't mean to ask a process question, but was this a point you made of coming out here to talk to us after this game?
Yeah, I think it's only. Yeah, I think I need to come out here and talk to you.
How do you think this defense? I mean, it's been improving every week, and it's been kind of the strength with Todd out. How does this defense come back next week after this?
Well, we got to figure out, you know, what we did right and what we did wrong, and once we get that figured out, we got to correct it. You know, we got to correct it, and that's what we do every week. You know, we've not played at our best all year. We continue to make strides, you know, but we got to be consistent. We got to be consistent every day, creating the right habits so things like this don't happen. You know.
What does it say that you guys beat Missouri by 34, Missouri beats Florida by 29, and then Florida beats you by 18?
It's crazy, huh? It goes to show you what you think, how you feel that day, you know, affects a lot about who you are for that day, you know, so.
But you said coming in you had a good week of practice.
Had a good week of practice, but that don't mean you're going to play good on Saturday. You got to show up on Saturday.
Is that frustrating after all these years to, I mean, you just never, is it one of those things that you just never have a pulse completely on what kind of team's going to come out here?
It's kind of, I don't know. That's a good question.
Is that the toughest part of coaching?
Yeah, I would say, you know, you don't know how these guys are going to respond. You know, and our guys wanted to win. They wanted to win. They wanted to play hard. They've practiced all week. They've trained for this. You know, they trained for this. The bottom line is when things started going the other way, as a coaching staff, we got to find a way to, you know, to put out the fire. You know, and we didn't. You know, and you just got to give Florida credit. All right.
Last question, guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously the season's not over. You go to Kentucky. But, today the running quarterback at Driscoll does the same thing. Having to deal with that extra guy is complicated.
They ran the same offense today they've been running with Driscoll all year. I mean, there's probably 2 or 3 quarterback runs. You know, we didn't execute very well, and they did, and they played harder than we did. It's really the bottom line.
Thanks for your time.
Jeremy,